I'm a big proponent of the one thing. I really think that if you're starting out with something, it doesn't even matter if you're starting out with something. So let's just say you're trying to be successful. Whatever you're trying to be successful at, if you're a real estate agent, you're trying to get leads, you should pick one type of lead source and you should hammer that home until it either works for you fantastically or you determine that it's not a successful campaign, and then you go on to something else. The only case which it may be prudent to do something other than one thing is if you're split testing. If you're split testing a campaign, that's totally cool, but you're going after one type of person so that you can determine if it's working for you. So maybe you're doing mailers. You're saying, okay, I'm going to do mailers, I'm going to do postcards or letters or postcards. So but pick something. If you're going to get started in business, don't try to start two businesses at once. Do one thing, do it really well, and then expand. Do it long enough to where you can stockpile some money, because that's really what it's about. Is you want to have money. You might have a ton of great ideas, but great ideas take money to implement. They take advertising. If you think you're in business but you're not advertising, then you're not in business. So you have to consider all the points from A to Z when you're starting something. You want to figure out what does this look like if I'm successful at it, and how can I prepare for that now. You don't want to start something not knowing where you want to end up and not be prepared for that success. So you have to prepare for success. Go into something thinking that it's going to be a complete success, so that way you're not stalled out by being unprepared. You didn't make the right choice, you didn't do the right thing, you didn't make the right plans and preparations, set yourself up right, give it enough time, whatever the case may be. If you didn't do that stuff ahead of time, you didn't think through it, then that's going to be a problem for you. And that's why it's so important that when you're planning a business, think A to Z. If you're starting out in real estate, okay, I'm gonna try and flip a house. Okay, what does that look like? How are you gonna get the next one? Don't just think about the first one. Think about the 15th, the 20th, the 30th. How are you gonna consistently build that so that you can start it in the beginning and have your systems set up so you can scale easier than if you were trying to just do it as things come at you. There's always going to be some things that you just don't know what's going to happen, what's going on with them. Some things are going to blindside you. That's fine. But you can anticipate certain things. And to the level that you can anticipate those things, you really should try to. So, if you're going after real estate leads, think about, okay, what does this look like? What am I going to need to do if I need to scale this 10 times? And that's what you need to be prepared for. Doesn't mean you got to have all the money for it, because you're going to do it as revenue comes in, but you need to know what that looks like so that you're not trying to figure out all the pieces of the puzzle later. Maybe you're just trying to figure out how to get the money later instead of, well, okay, how do I get all those pieces mailed? How do I find the addresses for all that? No, you need to have your sources in place. So, you can set things up so that it's easier to grow. Set yourself up for success. Plan for success. Even if it becomes a failure, you can't go into it thinking that. You have to go into it thinking it's a success, because if it starts to go, you want to take that momentum and roll with it. If you want to be prepared to roll with that momentum. If you don't take advantage of momentum in business and in life, you will fail horribly. That is such a huge part of success, is building momentum. And I can't stress that enough, that if you're not thinking about these things ahead of time, that it's really going to be detrimental to your ultimate goals. So just think through them. Try the one thing mentality, where you're picking something. Doesn't mean, even if you're at a job, I don't mean that you're going to quit your job and just go all in on something, but if you're at a job, you're working 9 to 5, you're trying to do something on the side, try to do one thing on the side and do it until you have enough money to either quit your job or to, add something else in. But don't try to split your attention. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. It's been tried and tried and tried. And I can just tell you from a lot of experience that it doesn't work. You have to pinpoint something that you want to go after and attack it at all costs. And that's where you really start to see that momentum I was talking about. It's a big piece of the puzzle when you're focused on something and you can just keep going at it and going at it and going at it, and you don't have to divide your attention unnecessarily. And if you can set yourself up for that in the beginning, it'll be to your ultimate advantage to get that done that way. So anyway, I just thought I'd share that with you. Hopefully it's useful to you. If you find it useful, maybe you want to share it with others. You can tag somebody on this if you're trying to start a business with somebody, and let them know that, you know, that's the way to go. Let's just tackle one thing together, and you can really make some damage, you know, moving forward to your goals.